For like the first time in my like doing blind reactions on this channel, I actually know a little bit of what I'm going to be getting in this reaction. Cream and like we're getting cream and sugar. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're probably not getting cream and sugar. But apparently this fic is about Applejack and Apple Bloom. They get stuck in a well, and basically they discuss like about life and stuff. And like it starts raining in the well. It starts to get freaking more lifted up, dude. And I also heard this has like some of this amazing vocal performances, which I love amazing voice acting. So, and plus, dude, this is about to be an emotional ride, an emotional 46-minute ride, and I am excited for it. Cream and Sugar, written by Onion Pie. Good onions, good onions.
Ain't going, and that's final.
Applejack snaps over her shoulder.
Ooh.
But no buts, Apple Bloom. You're staying home.
Apple Bloom grits her teeth and follows Applejack down the dirt road.
What's going
The
on?
setting sun shines in their eyes. Trees sway in the breeze.
Already got
and
some
sun
drama
apples
here.
bloom angry red from their branches. Apple Bloom looks over her shoulder at the winding path leading down to Ponyville. The train will be leaving tomorrow morning, and her friends with it.
This ain't no time to go on your little adventures.
Applejack drones
Cutie
on.
Mark Crusaders and
Granny.
Granny gets sick all the time. Why do I have to stay just because she caught another cold?
Because it's what a family does. If you
a good
want
point.
your cutie mark so badly, why don't you think about why your brother and I got our apples?
I ain't you, Applejack.
Ooh.
I don't want or care about all the same things you do.
Apples don't
Another
fall
good
far
point.
from the tree.
Sometimes an apple falls down a hill and splashes into a river and is taken far, far away to a place where there ain't no apple trees.
Applejack gives her a
Dude.
look.
It's already a
Obviously
hit.
don't know anything about apples and trees.
I know I have to explore and taste new things so I can find what's important to me. What
That's
truly matters
true.
to me. That's what a cutie mark is all about.
Applejack frowns.
Is that what you really want? To leave all of us behind and go live in some place none of us
Ooh. Ooh.
ain't even heard of?
And what if it is?
Then it's a darn good thing you're just a fillet and don't get to wander off into something you'll regret.
Why do you have to be
Gangs.
so stupid?
Hey, don't you talk to me about stupid, young fella. If you think running
I'm
off at a
stupid.
town like this is a good idea, your head is as empty as a fallen log.
You're a log.
No?
Big
Log?
Mac's voice.
Log.
Applejack and Apple Bloom glare up at him. He winces
Log.
and shrinks back.
Sister talk. Nothing you
Log.
need to concern yourself with.
The big
I like
stallion
log.
chews on his straw, shrugs, and hurries past them. The wheels of his cart creak.
Dude, you know what? You know what? You know what? I'm gonna start using log. I'm just gonna like walk up to a random person. I'm gonna walk up to my local Wendy's, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hello there." The person will be like, "What would you like to order?" I'm gonna be log.
creaking behind.
See?
Applejack says when he's out of earshot.
Big Mac never complains.
Big Mac don't even know how to complain.
Good point.
Big Mac shouts in the distance.
Maybe you can learn a thing or two from him then.
Apple Bloom steps in front of her and glares into her
Complaining
eyes.
is good
You just
sometimes.
sign the permission paper. All I need is your signature and I can go.
I don't
I
know
ain't
how,
signing nothing
but
for you right now, and Granny ain't in no condition to neither.
Applejack walks past her.
You can go beg Big Mac if you want.
Big Mac can't even read.
Guess you're staying home
what?
then.
Big Mac can't
She
read.
shudders and looks back
Ow.
over her shoulder. Warm wind
sorry
blows the
I'm sorry,
scent
Big
of
Mac.
sun-baked earth at her side. When she faces forward again, the barn emerges from behind an apple tree where the road curves, standing tall and red in the open field.
But she'll be fine in a day or two anyway.
Apple Bloom says, struggling to keep her voice from breaking.
I like the apples
don't
in the
know.
background.
Applejack says, as they start
It's a
down
nice
the hill
green
toward the
and
barn.
red.
So you'll stay near, just like your brother and me.
She follows Applejack until they're close enough to the barn to hear the window shades clanking against the wall.
I mean,
Her eye
pause. I mean, I understand both sides. I understand Applejack's like, you gotta be here for Granny Smith. But I'm also kind of on Apple Bloom's side here a little bit, because it is a little bit unfair that she, like, it is just a cold. Am I right? It is just a cold. So if it's just a cold, forgive me if I'm being stupid here, but a cold isn't that bad, I believe. And there's probably not a very good chance that anything really bad would happen from a cold. And Bloods Granny Smith can probably just get sick easily like a lot of other people. It's probably nothing too bad. Nothing too bad is probably going to happen. So, like, I mean, just, like, letting her go for, like, a few hours shouldn't be that bad. I mean, it's raining right now because of the picture, so I guess not right now, but, like, I mean, I don't know.
Eyes drift to the second-story windows, where Granny Smith's room is. She is probably lying up there now, coughing and moaning and muttering like she has been the past weeks, getting worse every day.
Remember what I said about the cold? Damn it, man.
Apple Bloom's guts go cold, followed by a rising urge to throw up.
Ooh.
She stops and takes a step back.
And just where do you think you're going? Don't you... Hey, stop!
Oh, she's running.
She runs back the way they came, past Big Mac and his cart, over long shadows of apple trees along the winding path. Big Mac says something behind, but the wind in her ears makes it hard to hear. Applejack snaps something at him. Then there is only the sound of her rushing hooves chasing after her. Apple Bloom's short legs carry her fast, but not nearly fast enough. She makes it past 2 bends in the road before Applejack catches up behind her. She grits her teeth and turns off the path and into the apple trees. But she might as well be trying to outrun a timber wolf.
Apple Bloom, stop!
Applejack is almost at her tail again. She
Applejack has legs of pure steel
and stops in front to block her path. Apple Bloom's hooves
they're as shiny as a glazed donut.
But she ends up crashing into Applejack's chest all the same.
When I say
Get
stop,
smoked.
you stop.
Applejack stumbles back a few steps, stops, and holds her with her hoof. Apple Bloom wrenches free from her hoof and steps back. She would curse at Applejack if she could, but she is too busy heaving for air. She sits down on her haunches and swipes her hoof through the air in what she hopes looks like a dismissive gesture.
Yeah.
She glances around. She doesn't recognize this part of the orchard. The grass is thinner here, and the trees carry fewer apples. A wooden ladder rests sideways against a stump, and an old stone well sits, lonely, on an open patch of dirt in the shade. Applejack jabs a hoof at her.
You want to get away for a little, I get that. But running off like that is not okay.
Imagine she actually
Apple Bloom
just jabs her like an actual
all
punch.
Fours and glares at her sister.
I'm sorry.
You're so unfair!
Fair don't matter here. You're the younger, and that means you do as I say.
Apple Bloom opens her mouth to protest, but Applejack cuts her off before she gets another word out.
Gran has been getting worse, and you know that. We need to be close by when she has downswings like this.
Why, so we can watch her die?
Applejack narrows her eyes,
Yes.
but hesitates.
I mean...
The anger in her expression fades, and her eyes soften. She bites her lip and looks down at the barn, taking a breath before...
Full update. I'm fully on Applejack's side now. I'm kind of on Applejack's side now.
Answering.
I still understand Apple Bloom's position, but still.
Apple Bloom's eyes widen, and her chest tightens. She looks away to hide the stinging in her eyes. The last sliver of sun sets behind the western hill, and the shadow swallows the orchard.
Then I'd rather go to Manhattan with my friends. No pony ever got a cutie mark from watching their granny die.
She turns to walk away.
Apple Bloom, you...
Don't touch me!
Applejack steps in front of her.
Just hold on a minute.
Applebloom turns the other way, eyes to the ground.
I get that you...
She turns away again. Applejack hurries in front of her again.
Will you just...
Applebloom walks past her, and once again Applejack blocks her path.
Oh my
Darn it,
god.
Applebloom, just...
Ah!
Applebloom screams and rams her chest, hearing the wind go out of her. Applejack stumbles back. A twig cracks behind her. She puts a hoof around her sister and yelps as her legs touch upon the edge of the old well.
Give her the biggest hug.
Falls over and drags Applebloom in with her. For a horrifying moment, the ground disappears from under them, and
The
they
well.
plummet through open air into darkness.
Well time!
Rough stone scratches at Applebloom's back on the way down, and she splashes into shallow water in a tangle of limbs and manes and hat.
At the well!
Applebloom
Hell, Jimmy's
leaps
stuck
her
in the
eyes
old abandoned
open
well.
and groans at a dull pain in her side. It is dark, dim, but not pitch black. She must have landed on a mossy stone, a warm stone. Feels more like grass than moss.
Pony?
She hears a voice,
Applejack?
muffled and distant.
Ooh.
Applejack's voice. Her mind swims with dizziness. She shakes her head and looks down. Two green eyes stare up at her from behind a wet mane right under her face. She startles and squints down.
Applejack?
Applebloom!
She winces and covers her ears. Applejack's voice echoes around them.
Yeah, you don't have to yell.
Are you alright? Are you hurt?
I'm fine, I think.
Dude, wells are like...
What happened?
Wells would be extremely scary to get
Why
trapped
am I on
in.
your head?
Appleblom blinks. She lets go of her ears, feeling a jolt of pain when she cranes her stiff neck to look up.
Ooh.
Oh.
A round
Oh.
brick tunnel,
Oh.
sick with wet and covered in patches
This
of
is me
moss,
just gonna be making
stretches
noises
up
for
toward the grey
this whole
sky
thing.
high above. A rope dangles about 2/3 of the way down, well out of reach.
One of the old whales. Back from the old days. They should have all been sealed up by now.
Oh,
She shifts her
really?
weight on Applejack's head.
Ow! Watch it!
Her hoof presses against
Oh.
Applejack.
If they're all supposed to be... If they're all supposed to... Oh, that means they won't be checking the wells. Or Big Mac, at least. They won't be checking the wells because they think they're all sealed up. Oh, no! Nobody's gonna check the wells. No!
Applejack's left ear, her belly resting on the top of her head.
Sorry.
Applebloom mumbles, putting her hoof against a loose brick in the wall instead.
Come on, we can climb up. We
It
can
is
climb up.
slippery, and her hoof cannot get a firm hold, so she lets it dangle down the side of Applejack's head. She looks down. Applejack is standing in shallow water up to her ankles.
What do we
Ooh.
do? Climb up?
Not
We gotta
like
climb.
I can't feel my hind leg. I think something's
Oh.
wrong with it. And this mud under the water is sucking at my hooves. When I
No!
can move properly.
Applejack squints up.
There was a ladder up there. We'll just have to go call for Big Mac to throw it down to us.
Think he'll hear us from all the way down here?
Big Mac!
Applejack
Hopefully.
yells.
This is gonna be
Applebloom
pain,
covers
isn't
her
it?
ears again.
Big Mac!
gonna be
Help!
pain.
We're down here!
Applejack keeps on yelling until her voice grows hoarse. She coughs between cries of help and Big Mac and even a granny or two. After what feels like a long while, she sighs and quiets down.
This is all.
Oh.
Applebloom mutters.
No, it's not.
This never would have happened if you hadn't followed me all the way out here.
If you hadn't run all the way out here and pushed me, you mean?
If you would just let me go to Manhattan like I was supposed to.
Are you still thinking about that now? Have you
This
no
is a life or
sense, fella?
this
When
is
I
a
get
life
out
or
here,
death
I'm running away,
situation.
and I'm getting on that train to Manhattan.
You are not.
Why do you have to be such a bad sister?
Me? A bad sister?
You messed up.
I'm the one trying to teach you something valuable here.
Whatever. I'm climbing up. Count yourself lucky if I throw down the ladder.
Apple Bloom
that's
puts
kind
one
of
hoof
that's
on
kind
the
of
edge of a
messed up.
mossy brick and hoists herself up. Her other hooves find unsteady holds on the top of Applejack's head. She sways back and forth a few times,
Come on,
certain she
we
will
can do
fall
it. We
over
can,
at
we
any
can make
moment.
it.
It's a long way up.
It's nothing.
Apple Bloom fixes her eyes on the rope,
Absolutely
hanging a little
fine.
over halfway down.
Once I've bitten hold of the rope, it'll be easy.
She presses
Absolutely
her back against the
stupendously
opposite side
easy.
of the well, and her hooves against the other. She finds cracks between the bricks and hoists herself up a little.
Hey!
She says, staying
Hello?
in place without Applejack's support. She puts one hoof
hello?
in front of the other and starts to climb. The stones are slippery, but the cracks between them give half-decent hoof holds.
Climb,
Don't
climb,
break your
climb,
neck.
climb.
Yeah.
She keeps her eyes on the dangling rope, getting nearer and nearer.
Dude, she's gonna fall.
Her hoof misses a crack and slips
No.
on the wet stone.
Don't
She yelps as she falls through empty air.
SLIP, slip.
Applejack grunts when she lands on top of her again.
Frick
Bloom
nugget,
nearly
man.
tumbles
Frick
into
nugget.
the water, but Applejack pushes her back onto her head with her one free hoof.
I told you, it ain't gonna work. It's too darn slippery.
And I told you I got it.
Apple Bloom gets ready to climb again.
Stop it, Apple Bloom. You're gonna get yourself hurt.
I'm not staying in this hole with you.
Applejack groans.
I would stay in the hole.
Why do you have to be so difficult?
Every
You're
hole
the
is a
one
chance
being
for glory.
difficult. Let me go.
Apple Bloom puts her hooves in between bricks and begins hoisting herself up. Applejack wraps a hoof over her back and holds her to her.
Let me go.
I said you ain't climbing no more.
Apple Bloom's
You ain't
hoof
climbing no
hits
more.
Applejack's face as she
Ba-da-ba.
squirms.
Settle down, darn it.
Applejack
Whoa, what
loops
the-
beneath her, holding her pressed against her back.
What kind of
Apple
noise was
Bloom,
that?
wait, I think...
They both gasp as
Mud?
they sink down a little. They
Quicksand?
freeze as the ground settles beneath them.
the mud. It's shifting under my hooves.
What the heck does that mean?
It means that if you keep squirming like that, we might sink through.
I'm about to
Sink
start hyperventilating.
Through?
Apple Bloom looks down, feeling a chill. The shallow water on top of the mud reaches up to Applejack's knees now.
Just stay still, will you? No more kicking.
Please.
Fine.
Apple Bloom frowns and shifts her weight.
But I don't think
Dude.
this changes any.
She
Ah!
yelps as Applejack sinks another inch and her head knocks into the mossy stone.
Stay still, darn it.
Okay.
You stay still.
She takes a deep breath and rubs at her forehead.
We'll get out. Big Mac will come
Are
looking
you
for
sure?
us soon, I reckon. He'll throw down the ladder.
It'll get dark soon.
Apple Bloom looks up at the grey sky through the tube.
What if he hits the hay before he notices we're gone? Mona's on
Oh,
her leash, and I doubt Granny will be up and about this late.
please,
Applejack
no.
waits a moment before replying.
He'll come and get us. Even if it ain't until tomorrow morning. Big Mac's an early riser. If you don't notice we're missing now, he will at sunrise.
Sunrise? I have to spend
There you
the
go.
whole night in here with
Thinking
you.
My
positively.
little sister Latina never heard no pony.
Positively.
Sisterly time. No pony ever got their cutie mark in a whale. A real sister would let her sister go to Manhattan.
Will you please
unless
shut
you have a
about Manhattan for
well-related
just
cutie
one
mark.
darn minute?
How about I stop talking to you altogether?
Applejack takes a moment, like she's about to lash out at her, then lowers her head and sighs.
I'm tired, Apple Bloom.
Same.
Tired of fighting. Can we just
Oh.
not argue right now?
Fine. But when I get out of here, I'm going to Manhattan, whether you want me to or not.
Apple Bloom waits for her to object, but for once, Applejack stays silent.
Good.
Fair.
Apple Bloom
What
settles into
do you
the
mean
warmth of her
good?
mane.
Problem solved. No more arguing.
I really want them to stop arguing, but pause for dramatic effect. And continue. Oh, that's...
Something
I did not want to
wet
continue like
hits
that.
Apple Bloom's nose. She looks up at the darkening sky. Another drop hits her eye.
Literally the
She
worst
blinks
timing
and
ever.
rubs at it, feeling the drizzle fall in her mane. Hears it in the shallow water of the well.
Great. Of course it has to rain.
That's dangerous.
Why do you want to go to Manhattan so badly?
What do you care?
Will you just answer the question?
I
I'm
actually
trying
want
to
to
be a
know.
good sister here.
Fine job you're doing at that.
Is it because of Granny?
She purses her lips.
Ooh,
I can't
getting
help but
somewhere.
think it's selfish of you not to want to be there for her. Sick as she is, I mean. How'd you feel if Big Mac or I didn't want to see you when you were sick? It's just
Exactly.
something family does for each other.
Do we have to talk about this?
Yes.
Frankly, we do.
Yes.
Frustrates me to no end that you think getting a cutie mark is more important than being with Granny when she's sick.
It ain't that simple.
Then what the heck is the problem?
Apple Bloom stares into the mossy bricks in
dude.
silence.
Tell. Please.
I'm scared.
What's that?
I'm scared, okay? Are you happy now?
Just let
Laugh
it
all
all
you
out.
want. I don't care.
She looks around for a place to run and hide, but the wall presses tight around her.
I can't be there with her. I don't want to be. Not when she... If she...
Apple Bloom.
I know, you're gonna say that I'm being stupid, that she always gets better, that she's not gonna...
No. No. It's okay. I get it. I understand.
Hugs.
I've been scared like that before.
You... scared? When?
Parents.
When Mom died.
Oh, the
Apple
parents.
Bloom lowers her eyes, watches the raindrops sprinkle in the water.
I don't talk about Mom much.
No. I suppose not.
They both stay quiet for a little while, before Applejack continues.
I miss
We
happy
didn't talk
times.
much of it back when you was little, or neither. Big Mac didn't take it too well. Granny, worst of all. Can't say I dealt with it any better.
Applejack takes a breath.
But the worst part was leading up to it. When she kept getting worse every day.
Like Granny?
Yeah, just like Granny.
Looks up at Apple Bloom. Their eyes meet, and Applejack looks down again.
Dad leaving shocked all of us. And it was hard.
That what?
Knowing that Mom might not live out the day was... worse. You wouldn't remember.
Oh, wow.
You were just a little foal back then.
How come you never talk about them, Mom and Dad?
I don't think about them much now. I try not to.
The rain
Fair.
pats
Honestly,
down
fair.
in their manes,
That's pretty fair.
runs down their coats,
Can we
washes
talk
dirt
about the
from
rain?
cracks in the wall.
But I want you to know that it's all right to be scared. Especially at a time like this.
I don't want to be scared.
Literally right now.
What you are or what you get ain't important. It's how you deal with it that matters.
Gotta
Fear
make
is
the
fine,
most of
so
it.
long as you don't let it drive you to things you'll regret,
Applejack lowers her head.
like it did to me.
What'd you do?
Bloom rests her cheek on her sister's head.
What'd you do?
Jack's mane is turning damp.
What was she like?
Who?
Mom,
Pear butter. Pear butter.
Applejack
I love pear butter.
hesitates.
Pear butter's awesome.
you were the one that brought her up.
Applejack sighs.
She was complicated. Even back
Just
then,
like me.
it was
I'm kidding.
Granny who took care of us. But that didn't make it any easier when Mom started getting sick. It just felt wrong seeing her like that. She was always so energetic and alive and fun.
I feel you. I honestly couldn't imagine it
Turning
either.
weaker and more miserable every day.
I couldn't
Apple Bloom
imagine that.
frowns, reminded of Granny lying sick in her bed.
It was hard. And I couldn't take it. I stayed away. I hid. I made up excuses. Anything I could do to distance myself from the death creeping up on her. Eventually, it got so bad that I ran up to Manhattan, stayed there with some relatives. Thought I didn't.
I need a moment. That line that hits so hard. Oh man.
Care. I told myself I didn't. Promised myself that it didn't matter. But when I got the letter from Granny saying Mama passed,
Oh.
under my blanket and cried all night.
You cried?
Applebloom leans forward, looking down at Applejack's
I need another moment. Okay, here we go.
face.
You?
Applejack touches the stone wall with her free hoof.
Every pony cries. And the ones who cry the least cry the hardest.
She
Ooh,
draws her lips into a thin line.
that's such a good line. That is
I never
such a
see
good
her
line.
again. Never talk to her. Never get to say I was sorry. It was when I was crying under that blanket, all alone in a world that I didn't know, that I got my cutie mark.
She meets Applebloom's eyes.
Oh man.
Apples
Oh.
from family. Because that's all that ever truly mattered to me.
Applejack stares.
This is, oh man. Oh, oh. I'm about to experience hyperthemia from sadness.
Stares back at the empty wall.
And I was a fool not to say it until it was too late.
You never mentioned Mom and Dad's story before.
I didn't think I'd ever need to. But now that I'm seeing you blundering in the same mistakes I did,
Applebloom hides her face back over her head.
What about Dad?
Dad?
What happened?
He,
What did he do?
I'd like to know what he was like.
Why did
Applejack
he?
looks up
Why
at
did
her,
he leave?
Squints when the rain hits her in the face.
I said he don't matter. Not what I'm trying to teach you here.
Still, what was he like?
Applejack stares back at the wall and sighs.
Soon as he learned Mom was carrying you, he up and left without a word.
I know that, but why?
Applejack
There's got to be a
shrugs.
reason.
I've asked myself that question more times than I can count. Mom didn't make
There's
got
gotta
to
be a reason.
And I guess one day he had enough.
She shakes her head.
I don't remember much about him. I was just a little fella back then, even littler than you are now.
Appleblom leans forward.
Dang.
There's gotta be something you remember.
Applejack looks down at the water.
His
It's
laugh?
just this one thing.
What
His
is it?
laugh.
It's a stupid thing to remember when I can't even recall what it looked like.
Well, are you gonna tell me or not?
Cream and sugar.
Applejack's voice is
That's the name of the thingy. That's the name of the thingy. He said it. I mean, she said it.
low, like she is telling a secret. Appleblom raises an eyebrow.
Cream and sugar?
With cream and sugar.
Applejack looks up at
Cream
her,
and sugar.
then away.
He hated coffee, but he'd still drink it every day so long as he had lots of cream and sugar for it.
Okay, why is coffee
weird.
important?
Why'd he
Latte.
drink it if he hated it?
Not sure. Said it was just something he needed to do, and that the cream and sugar made it only half bad.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Cream and sugar.
Cream and
Thing
sugar.
to remember.
Do you think he'll come back?
I doubt it. If he wanted to come back, I reckon he would have done it already.
Oh, my mystery senses are
Back when I was a little
tingling.
fella, I'd dream of what I'd do if I ever saw him walking down the road to the barn. I told myself I'd hurry and make him a cup of coffee, put lots of cream and sugar in it just the way he liked, and give it to him the moment he opened the door.
That's very sweet. That's so
Applejack
sweet.
looks up at the weeping sky.
I still think about it, truth be told.
You never know. Maybe you'll
Oh,
get
there's
to
two
give him
apples
that
at the
cup someday.
bottom.
Yeah, maybe.
Applejack flashes a smile.
I remember how he'd wrinkle up his face when he drank it. Always made me laugh, little as it was.
Her smile fades.
But back to what I was saying about Mom. There's an important lesson to my story.
Applebloom rolls her eyes.
Do you really have to turn everything into a lesson?
No, but this one's important. I don't want you to.
Bright light
Oh, gosh.
flashes in the murky well.
No!
Later, thunder cracks like the world is splitting open.
Stop
Bloom
cracking!
ducks down and covers her ears.
You better
feeling
stop
her chest
cracking
vibrate
right now.
as dust falls down from the wall.
I hate thunder.
She says, clenching her
Fair,
eyes
fair,
shut
fair.
as the crackling fades.
A little thunder never hurt no pony. But it is sure raining.
A little thunder never hurt no pony. Well, let's break that down, shall we? Thunder leads to lightning, and lightning leads to electrocution and death. Hey, what? Hey. It's point of no return. I've seen that one before, and that was pretty good.
Hard.
Cold.
Applebloom shivers.
Don't be cold,
Her
no!
whole body is soaked, her wet mane plastered against her head. She opens an
Huddled
eye
together,
and
huddled
squints
together.
up.
Warmth.
Dim moonlight shines through dark clouds high above, barely bright enough to see the water running down the round wall.
Vanish.
Morning'll come soon. Big Mac will get us back up. You'll see.
He better. I've never been more miserable in my life.
Applebloom says, rainwater running down her face.
A little rain is nothing. It can be much worse.
Applejack speaks on in a lowered voice, too quiet to hear over rain splashing in water.
What?
When we do get out of here, you'll go see Granny, right? You'll stay home?
Applejack says louder. She lifts her chin and looks up at Applebloom.
Applebloom?
You gotta stay.
You don't know.
How do you not
Staying
know?
home for another week ain't gonna change nothing. And the Manhattan train leaves in the morning.
Applejack sighs so hard it sounds
You
almost
can't
angry.
take that risk.
After everything I've told you, you still don't get it?
What's there to get?
Your family, Applebloom. That's what you need to get.
You guys will still be here when I come back next week. Even if I spend a whole year away, you'll still be here at the orchard.
Appleblom looks down,
A lot
cringes
can
back
change in a
when
year.
she sees the frustration in her sister's face.
I mean, it's not like you'd ever leave.
Applejack keeps quiet and stares into the wall like it is something she wants to hit.
More importantly,
Applebloom looks down behind her shoulder.
is it just me or has the water risen?
Applejack
Yep, rain.
frowns at the water
We
lapping
need
against
to
her
be
thighs.
discussing the
Tends to
rain.
happen when it rains.
Yeah, but where will the water go?
Up.
While we're down here.
Up, down,
That's
one.
bad, ain't it?
Yes,
Can be.
She squints
Can?
up at the rain.
it will
We
be.
might not have time to wait for Big Mac.
What do we do then? Can you climb?
Panic.
Applebloom
We
looks
panic.
around the cracked bricks in the bottom of the well. Applejack winces as she moves her legs a little under the
Start
water.
panicking. Panic.
I
I'm
can't.
panicking.
I still can't feel my hind leg. And two of my others won't budge from the mud.
Applebloom looks up the rope, hanging limp, not far out of reach.
Well, we
I
tried
can
our
try
best.
climbing again.
I don't
We
think that's a
did
good
everything
idea.
we could.
Do you have a better idea then? Sit here underwater until morning. I'll throw down the ladder when I'm up. Use a rope if you have trouble moving.
Applejack hesitates, then sighs.
Just be careful, alright?
What
I'm
if
always
the
careful.
rope
Just stay still.
falls
It'll be easy.
down with apple bloom?
Applebloom balances her hooves on Applejack's head and puts the tip of her...
Dude, what if she makes it up, she throws down the rope, Applejack pulls on the rope, pulling not only the rope down, but also Applebloom back down the well. Oh god, I am imagining the worst case scenario besides death.
of her forehoof into the slit between two bricks.
Here.
Applejack lifts her head a couple of inches, and her sister with it.
Thanks.
Apple Bloom gets hold on a brick, presses herself against the wall, and
Dude, she's gonna make it. I
squeaks up
don't.
the rope. She
Make
stretches
it.
out her legs against the opposite wall and grits her teeth as she presses herself hard against the wall, moving
Climb.
one hoof over the other like she is walking up the side of the well.
It's not so far.
Icy
Come on,
water
come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
streams down the wall and over her neck. She shudders. One painful hoist at a time, she makes her way upwards.
Yes!
The
Come
running
on!
water colours the well dark brown with dirt from above. She looks down. Applejack looks up at her with an expression equal parts horror and amazement.
I think.
Bloom gasps, hoisting herself up on another brick.
No, 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 no. No.
Her hoof slips on a wet moss pad.
No!
She reaches out with another hoof and digs into the wall as hard as she can,
Yes?
but it's too slippery.
No!
Her guts tingle as her back begins sliding down against the
No!
wall, slow at first, climbing to a sickening plummet. She splashes down in deep water. Her mouth and nose and eyes fill with cold darkness. She flails against the murk. She can't tell which way is up. A hoof wraps under her belly and tugs at her. Her face breaks the
I wish I
surface.
could scream
She draws
right
in
now.
a gasping breath, more from the shock of the cold than a need for air.
I gotcha.
Applejack grunts as she lifts her onto the top of her head. Apple Bloom wraps her hooves around her sister's forehead and presses her trembling chin into her mane.
I'm sorry. It was going so well, but it got so slippery and.
It's all right. Can you move your legs?
Applejack says, louder now to get through the rising sound of heavy rainfall.
Please tell me you
Apple
can.
Bloom wiggles her legs one at a time.
I think so.
Yes.
Good. You can swim then.
Swim?
Yes.
You're not gonna drop me back in the water, are you?
She looks down at the rising
Worst
pool,
case scenario.
now up to Applejack's shoulders.
I'm not gonna drop you, but I reckon the water's gonna come to you, so you'll have to swim anyway.
No,
the
but
heck am I supposed to
Applejack.
swim?
Up. You swim up.
Are you out of your mind?
She
You can
looks down
swim.
at
You can
Applejack's
swim.
face, sees her biting her lip.
The water will carry you up as the well fills. All you have to do is stay above the surface and you'll be up in no time.
Yes.
Apple
Come
Bloom
on.
looks up through the dim
Applejack.
tube.
No.
Thick drops plummet into the well, and streams of water run down the sides.
Please don't
She
kill
looks down at
Applejack.
the edge of the water. It is up to Applejack's neck now, and shows no sign of stopping.
What about you?
I'll push you up some.
But you'll swim too, right?
The water's cold, so you need to keep moving your legs.
But,
If you don't use your muscles enough, it'll get harder to use them at all.
but,
So make sure to...
What?
Apple Bloom, listen to me! Just keep your darn head above the water and keep moving until you float to the surface!
Apple Bloom stares down, mouth open, heart pounding in her throat. Applejack can't meet her eyes.
No.
The water rises to her chin.
I'll not have you
Please.
drown in well before you're even grown. You can throw down the ladder when you're up, or go to the barn and get Big Mac.
but what'll you do until then?
Applejack makes
The
a pitiful
rope.
attempt at a smile.
Hold
No.
my breath like we do.
No, no, no. But the rope. I don't think the rope would be able to go down under the water. Will it? Oh, Applejack, please tell me you have the most amazing breath holding thing you could do.
Do in the
please.
lake.
You can hardly hold your breath for 2 minutes.
Guess I'll have to say
Oh, come on.
a new record then, don't I?
You can't be serious.
The forced smile fades. The water surges up underneath Applejack.
I'll try climbing the ladder when you throw it down.
How will you climb with your legs all tangled up?
I'll figure it out.
The water reaches up to her lower lip.
Chin
Apple Bloom
strats.
feels the cold water against her hooves, dangling over the sides of Applejack's head.
Just do as I say.
There ain't no way I'm leaving you down here.
You ain't got no dark choice.
Applejack
All
struggles
the
to keep
water's
her
rising,
mouth above
dude.
water.
Oh.
This ain't no time for arguing!
Applebloom grimaces, looking up at Salvation and down into the watery hell.
You promise you'll climb up? Do you promise?
Applejack's mouth dips beneath water. Air hisses through her nostrils. Applejack stretches
Come
her
on.
neck just enough to get her mouth above the water.
Yes, I promise.
Tiny waves lap against her cheeks.
Darn, but it's cold.
She looks up into Applebloom's eyes.
You go be a good little filling out, you hear? Don't!
The water covers her mouth again. Comes a waterfall, filling faster and faster.
Like a water
Applejack
bottle.
draws a deep breath through her nostrils, plunges her head under the water, and pushes Applebloom upwards, stretching her
anxiety.
neck up as far as it will go.
Don't you dare stop swimming! Come here!
Water clashes
Fighting.
into water, more and more flowing down the wall.
Just keep
Breasts
swimming.
up
Just keep
above
swimming.
Applejack's mouth, then her
I'm
eyes,
coping with
then
my
over
pain
her
right now.
nose. It reaches up Applebloom's legs, over her back, up to her neck. She gasps at the cold and kicks at the water by instinct, feeling herself beginning to float. Applejack disappears from under her. Applebloom sees her hat floating
Just a
in
little
the
bit
water
longer.
beside her.
Applejack!
She screams,
Just keep swimming.
searching the water with her hooves, but Applejack is nowhere to be seen. Applebloom
Surface.
touches upon her mane under the water and plunges her head under. Dirt and leaves and straw cloud the water. She can just barely see her sister's vague outline through the murk. She points up and yells a word, bubbles rushing from her mouth. Go. Applebloom grimaces and kicks at the water, fighting her way up through the dark until she breaks the surface. Water falls all around her, from the wall, from the sky, surging up from underneath. She moves her numb limbs, trying to stay afloat. The water gets in her nose, in her eyes, in her mouth. She coughs and gasps and struggles as the well
Oh,
fills.
those legs!
She looks down, but there is only darkness there. The water carries her, lifts her up and up, faster and faster. The dark, moonlit clouds draw nearer, and the tunnel to the sky widens as she floats up on a tide of rising water.
Surface, 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 surface. Surface!
The well vomits her out, and she splashes down on muddy ground, gasping like a stranded fish. Lightning flashes and thunder cracks. She lies dazed for a moment, feels the wind pour at her sore body. She forces her eyes open and blinks away the salty wet. Heavy rain falls down in puddles and leaves and mud, an endless chorus of crushing, deafening cold.
Ladder.
The ladder
Ladder.
rests against the tree where they left it, sideways.
Ladder.
She scrambles through the mud, drags it to the well. Dirty
Please.
water overflows the brim of the stone well. She fumbles with the ladder and throws it in. The well swallows the wooden rungs with dreamlike slowness. It stops sinking halfway down and begins bobbing up and down.
No.
Applebloom leans her weight on it and forces it down along the edge of the well to leave
Yes.
enough room for Applejack. When two handles remain above the surface, the opposite edge hits ground deep below.
Yes. Yes.
She peers into the well. Can't
Please.
see anything with the way the raindrops distort the water.
Please.
Applejack!
Please. Please, please,
She
please,
means
please.
to scream, but it comes out as a cracked whimper.
Applejack!
Please. No.
Bright light flashes across the world for an instant, followed by a roar of thunder. She lets go of the ladder to cover her ears, and the ladder begins to float up again. She puts her hooves back on it and holds it down.
Applejack!
Applejack,
I got the
please.
ladder!
Please.
Climb the
No.
ladder!
The rain pours on as she waits. The thundering clouds flash and split, but no answer comes.
No, please.
Nothing but the sound of the rain The cold touch of mud, the fresh scent of wet grass,
Please!
and dirt, and blooming apples.
Why aren't you coming? The ladder's right here.
She stares
Please!
into the rippling water, watching for any signs of movement.
You stupid idiot! You said you'd climb up, you promised! You liar!
She kicks the stones.
You liar! You liar!
She steps away from
Please,
the well,
I still have
turns
hope.
to see the warm light spilling out the barn windows far down the hill. Big Mac's window is dark. Granny's too. She turns back to the well, heart thundering in her ears.
You can't drown, not you!
She steps back again, afraid to even look. She swallows her fear, takes a deep breath, and leaps back inside the well.
Yo! Save her!
The cold
Please.
of the water hits her like a train, and for a moment her muscles tense so hard she can't move. She forces her eyes open and peers down into the murk. Lightning flashes above, but the light hardly reaches halfway down the well. It's like there has been a fire down there, and shadowy soot reaches up the wall, growing blacker the farther down she looks. She shakes life into her limbs and begins swimming down, the water weighing heavier and heavier on her. She hardly feels the cold anymore.
Go!
Her eyes dart around, but it's barely enough light to see the tip of her nose. She searches with her hooves, but there's only more water and bricks and empty darkness. She catches the faintest green shimmer of eyes.
Yes?
Her heart leaps in her chest.
Please?
She swims faster, hoof outstretched, reaching. Clouds of dust move in the water,
Please!
and the green
Please.
fades to black.
Please!
Dizziness swirls in her head. She can't see. Her lungs scream for air. Her body is numb from the cold, water squeezing hard against her temples. Fear takes hold. She freezes. Her
Just a
legs
little bit
refuse
longer.
to move.
No,
She screams Applejack's name through the water, bubbles rushing out. Silence. She
No.
peers down for another heartbeat.
Please.
Then she turns and swims up for the surface, eyes bulging, lungs burning. There's more lightning above, but no sound. Only a dim glow, growing brighter with each flash. She breaks through the surface and heaves for air, reaches over the edge of the well and rests her shivering chin on the wet stones. She coughs and gasps and scrambles out of the well like it's a monster trying to eat her. She falls back to the ground and crawls through the mud.
Maybe
collapsing.
CPR?
She huddles into
If
a
we can-
trembling ball
if we can get
and
her out.
squeezes her eyes shut. Every inch of her body aches. The sky flashes and cracks. The rain pours on. She lies, still in the mud, barely breathing, tears mingling with the rain. Seconds turn to minutes, and minutes to eternities. And her sister's words wash over her, over and over, like waves of scalding cold. You never truly appreciate family until... There is a tingling on her flanks, a growing warmth. She startles and blinks her eyes open. A dim-coloured glow shines on the ground beside her, first red, then green, then yellow. The light fades, and shadows close in around her. But in the morning twilight, she sees a mark above her thighs. 3 apples, each a different colour. For a moment, she can only stare, wide-eyed. Her lips tighten. Air wheezes through her sore throat. Laughter, sobbing, crying. Her head drops back to the mud,
so
and her whole
twisted.
body shakes with something beyond joy or misery. The first hints of dawn claw through clouds in the east. And
That's so
someplace
twisted.
far away, a train screeches its brakes.
No. No. Please don't fade out. Please. No. 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 Oh, no. No. I want to scream. I want to scream. I want to scream. Ugh. Give me like 5-10 minutes. Oh, that genuinely hurts. That, like, wow, amazingly written. That was some. Oh man. This is what I call some damn good writing right here. Oh my god, man. I'm really curious about that cream and sugar though. I am really curious about that cream and sugar. Man. That was emotion. 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 Like, damn. Oh man. Cream and sugar. That's gonna live in my head for like the next week. Cream and sugar. I need to know what cream and sugar means. What does that mean? What is... Oh. Okay. So, Bright Mac, he drank coffee. He doesn't like coffee, but he drinks coffee because he needs to drink coffee. And so, but there's cream and sugar in it to make it better. I feel like for coffee, there's some sort of family analogy in there. Crap, man. I don't know. The cream and sugar has to represent something good about... I'm thinking maybe like the coffee represents family, and the cream and sugar represents something good about the family. Because families can be unfun at times and not really... It can be painful at times. So maybe like the coffee is like maybe the coffee is like going through the pain of watching your relative kind of dwindle down and creep closer to death. And maybe the cream and sugar is like those moments you still get to share with that relative, like the happy times, the good times. That, I think that's the closest I'm ever gonna get to breaking down the cream and sugar analogy. But oh man, I gotta say, this has probably been my longest outro. That will, oh, like a good neighbor, Safe Farm is there.